Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and this is a card reading where I'm going to be bringing through messages from Spirit for those of us who are consciously moving through the global awakening process. For those of us who are trying to bring more light, more love, more healing, more truth, and so on into the world, what I am calling Team Light. Hello, fellow Team Light members. And let's look and see what messages Spirit wants to share with us today. We are talking about turning weaknesses into strength. So what is a weakness? How do we turn it into strength? We are going to be talking about all of that. And we're going to start already. That's not the right card. What is it? We have Crown Chakra. This is not the right card. And that was already, I was getting a little bit in my head and going like, wow, I've been shuffling for ages. Where's this card? And so I ended up breaking in a very kind of unusual way. I don't usually do that. And so I picked up on it. And that's part of it. It would be for me to do this work and to be pursuing my purpose. To operate in this way, to do a reading in this way would be a weakness. So that's how we're going to define weakness. We're going to define weakness as going against what is required of you to fulfill your purpose, going against what's going to help you to fulfill your purpose, going against what's going to help you to be true, to be authentic, to be happy, to live whole, what is going to go against you healing. So giving in to what really is working against your own highest good. That is what we're going to call a weakness. And it's about taking those weaknesses and turning them into opportunities to instead be working for and towards your highest good. So we have a energy here of communication. And communication says, I see how this is going to go down. Oh, the energy of this reading. Wow. You know what? I will read it to you. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balanced exchange. And so, me working the camera, huge sticking point for me. I feel like that's a weakness in when me doing these readings. There's always something, it's not working. And while I was doing it again, I could feel myself going like, oh, I'm not working the camera right again. All of these things again, right? And then I said exchange, I kind of it, and this is another point with me. And so I'm in that energy like, oh, I'm sharing and so on and so forth. So it's all of these things, communication. We're going to be talking about how you talk to yourself about weak points. So again, first of all, we're not going to call it a weakness. We're going to call it a weak point. We're going to call it, it's not even a weak point. It's like how when you are not the way that you would want to be. When you're not as you think you should be. When you're not showing up as you think that you should be. And how you talk to yourself about that, how you think about that, but especially how you talk to yourself about that, the meaning that you put into it, how you explain it to yourself, how you interpret it to yourself, that's what's getting in the way of your purpose. Wow. Wow. It's getting in the way of your happiness. It's getting in the way of your well-being. It's getting in the way of your health. For some of you, it's getting in the way of relationships, of your work. It can be so debilitating and so much more debilitating than we know. So let's look at what else we have. We've got Sun in Capricorn status. Work diligently towards your goal. And we have Sun in Leo, joy. A time of celebration and satisfaction. Yay. I love this. I love this. This is Spirit telling you, or telling us from the onset. This is something that can be worked on. If we put in energy and we're diligent and we keep working on this, on changing this, is it a narrative? This story we're telling ourselves about ourselves, this way of speaking to ourselves, if we're changing that inner narrative, then there's going to be a lot of celebration and success. And really also Spirit is saying, listen, you've been working really, really hard towards certain goals. You've been putting in your time, your energy, your focus. It's time to kind of uplift your perspective. You've been giving it a lot, and more specifically, you've been giving it your best. We are always doing the best we can with what we have. And that's important. That matters. And you're being guided to really kind of, what would be the word? To kind of recenter, readjust, so that you can see that you really have so much to celebrate. Because the Sun in Capricorn is an energy of success. And that 10th house energy of reaching the pinnacle, again, through work and investment and diligence. And here, we have this energy of success with the Leo and the joy and your heart really singing. You are doing so well, so much better than you're telling yourself, so much better than you perceive. Based on the work that you've been doing your best. And Spirit is saying, you know what? If you're not going to communicate that to yourself, I will communicate it to you. I will tell you. And you're going to work more. Maybe you're not where you want to be, and there is more work to do. And yes, you will have celebration and success over the work that you have yet to put in, and you're going to be putting in. Great. That's awesome. But it doesn't take away from what you already have. And Spirit wants you to honor both. To be like, I can be a work in progress, but I'm already really, really far. I already have come so far through my effort. And also, again, this project could still be a work in progress. This relationship, this situation in my life, this job, my finances, wherever you've been putting in this effort and working towards your goal, you may not be there yet, but you're already farther along than you were in the beginning. And that is already a cause of celebration and success, because Spirit is even saying that the work that you've put in so far is guaranteeing your eventual celebration and success. With Capricorn energy, you're not going to stop. You're not going to give it up. You're going to keep working on it. And therefore, at some point, you will have that celebration. You will have that success. You just need to be telling yourself that. And especially you need to hear when Spirit is telling you that. We've got Starseed. Okay, interesting. We have got knowledge. And we've got music. Beautiful. My love, with Starseed, this is talking about this team light energy that I was bringing in the beginning. You are someone who has a very specific energy signature, and you have a very specific energetic makeup. It's a general reading, so I'm getting lots of different scenarios. It could be your spiritual collective that you're coming from. It could be your soul. It could be also from past lives which you've experienced. It could also be lessons in this life. There's definitely this energy, because for me, starseeds are soul collectives that just have a higher vibration. So it's not about being a literal extraterrestrial. To me, that's just very physical, material, 3D thinking. But that is much more about the energy of your soul and where you're coming from. And that's kind of what Spirit wants you to apply. It's to really look at yourself and know that you're soul apart. You're not like everybody else. You don't have the same kind of energy and functioning as the people around you. And especially as the origin of the perspective that you are applying to judge yourself and say that you're not doing enough. If you applied the perspective of who you really are and where you really come from in your soul, in your true being, in your energy, you will see how, wow, you are succeeding phenomenally. I love that. So let me give you an example. For example, let's say that you are from a soul collective that has a really high vibrational energy, and you are incarnated here on the planet, and a lot of the work that you're doing is about being very physical, and it is about the human experience and up leveling that, right? So maybe you've been working on your diet and on your exercise, and you've been prioritizing your health, and you're going to focus on living very, very long, right? One of the collective missions we all have in this global awakening process is to push back the age that we live in the body, right? So to live as long and as well and as healthy as we all possibly can. And that could be part of your mission. But then you're judging yourself because, yeah, I'm on my diet and I'm exercising and so on. But where's my finances? Where's my relationship? Where's my job? Where's my external? There's a lot of external symbols here with the status and the sun in Capricorn. A lot of what society says is valuable and important. Maybe you're not there at that level yet, and therefore you're judging yourself. And so Spirit is saying again, look at the basis, look at the foundation for the judgments that you are applying to yourself. Because we are supposed to have judgments about ourselves, and judgments in that sense that it's a subjective interpretation. It doesn't have to be logical, right? Some people could look at you and say, oh my God, you're doing so well. And that would be their judgment based on their subjective experience, right? So it's very important to be in our subjective experience and then to be able to judge from there. This works for me, this doesn't work for me, this is good for me, this is not good for me, without needing to explain it logically to ourselves or to anybody, right? It's a judgment. It's in like a Scandinavian language, it's overbevisning. It is above proof. You don't have to prove it. Literally, a judgment is an overbevisning. It's an overproofing, right? It exists beyond proof and proving, and there's no need to prove it. And so that's what Spirit is saying. The foundation that you're using, you are placing above your own real true judgment that would see from the perspective of who you really are and what you're really here to experience in this life. You'd be like, wow, I'm doing so well. Look, I'm so healthy, I can jump. I have time in my life to celebrate. Maybe I'm not working as much as I think I should be, but I have time to look at the sunset and the sunrise every single day. I have time to be with the people I love. I have time to pursue a passion. I'm living a life that has a lot more joy in it, even though I don't have XYZ, or I'm not at XYZ at all, or maybe just yet, right? Maybe just for now. So with that, we have knowledge. And this is Spirit saying, this is incoming to you. You're going to get a revelation in the days to come. There is some information that is getting streamed down to you, and this reading really is preparing you for receiving that. You are actually synthesizing this knowledge from different experiences in your life as a kind of crowning moment. Crown chakra, and now here we have the crown chakra. But yeah, like a pinnacle moment of work that you have been doing. You're ready now to put all of this work together into this acknowledgement, this knowledge that, you know what, I am right on point and I am exactly as I need to be. And I'm moving towards what I need to be moving towards, what is right for me, what works for me. There's a little bit of variation here with everybody watching. For some of you, it is a lot of validation. For some of you, it is self-awareness. For some of you, it is some pure encouragement. For some of you, it's some redirection. Oh, I need to be going in this direction. And actually, I have been going in this direction. I just didn't know. But for everybody, it's like a revelation. And again, a revelation in the sense everything just coming together and it makes sense. And with music, there's harmony. And there's this beautiful, beautiful filter that falls off of your life, and you're looking around and what you love loves you. There's connection between the hearts here. So this passion you've been pursuing, these things you've been doing that bring you joy, you're actually seeing how much they are good for you, and they're bringing love and again, joy, happiness into your life. They're bringing intangible pleasures into your life. And again, a profound sense of purpose and calling. This is who you are. This is who you're intended to be in this world. And there's this beautiful harmony. And for me, harmony is when we are in alignment with the energy. And it's like your life has been saying, be this, do this, go here, go there, love this, give yourself to this. And you have been doing it because you can't help but be who you are, so you can't help but be there, and you've been in harmony all along. You just haven't known it. You've just been telling yourself that, hey, I'm not doing so good, or I'm not on point so much, or this doesn't really matter. It's just a hobby. It's just a passing thing. Yeah, I'm doing super good at this, but who cares, right? Yeah, I know how to draw cards and read all of the tarot elements, but you know, how is that going to pay the bills, or who values that in society? It's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff. And yet you're, from a higher perspective, you're completely in harmony with your life because you're drawing cards. Because you're doing what you love. And again, what you love loves you. It is loving you. It is seeding in you. It is expanding you. It's teaching you things. It is inspiring you, opening you up, making you more wise, more kind, more loving, more strong, more courageous, more wild, more unhinged from society, those kinds of things, right? All good things, but it's making you more of who you are. And that's why it's there. That's what it's intended to be for. It's just a matter of you shifting your perspective, seeing it in this way, and therefore being able to harvest even more from it. What you love loves you, and you love it for a purpose. Spirit would always tell me, where there's smoke, there's a fire. Where there is love, there is the universal force of love at play. So what we love is how we align with the force that is spinning galaxies, that is dividing cells, that is the force that keeps all of life moving, that I call the universal force of love. It could also be the Holy Spirit, give you the Tao. There's tons of names for it, obviously, right? There would be. And that force, you connect with it through what you love, and the universe loves you through what it is that you're loving. And if it's not a lot now, more is coming. There's an expansive energy here. So that's it. We have the Nine of Wands. We have our Tower. Let me show you. We have a Nine of Wands upside down. Right? And it's upside down. We've got the Tower. We draw card number 16. We have got the 10 of Cups. Well, there you go. Happily ever after. And we have a 5 of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful energy to be juxtaposed. And we'll draw more cards. I was just thinking 1 row or 2 rows. And then I saw this and I'm like, okay, we're going to need another row because, my love, look, Nine of Wands is talking about a sense of being embattled. And this is the message. As long as you are fighting against what you love, that loves you, what is true for you, you're fighting against your nature, you're going to feel embattled. And it's a battle that you're waging against yourself, right? Because of internalizing beliefs and understandings and all that stuff. It's not really you. It's not about you. But it's going on within you. And so it creates the sense of fighting yourself and being embattled. And what Spirit is talking about, what you have here in your life that you need so much preparation for, you need to have this reading, you need to watch this reading, because it's going to be a huge shift. It's going to be a game changer. Talking about game changer energy. This is part of the game change. And literally, you're playing a different game. You thought you were playing a game of fitting into society and gaining status and gaining success by society's standards. And actually, no, you're playing a different game that is all about being you, that is all about gaining a tremendous amount of fulfillment in life. It just so happens that right now you're doing it from a space of the 5 of Pentacles. You're doing it from a place of scarcity. So for me, the 5 of Pentacles is not lack, it's scarcity. 5 of Cups is lack. 5 of Pentacles is scarcity. There is realized scarcity in this world. There are a lot of people who don't have access to water, access to medicine, access to freedom, their rights being respected, civil rights, all of those things. There are scarcities of things that are essential for us to live in this world. And that's what this card is acknowledging. There is a scarcity in your life. And I would think that the common knowledge of this society, cultural aspect that you're engaging with, it's a 10th house. It's more society than it necessarily is culture norms and so on, though that can be a part of it. It's more like how society works, what society requires of you to, for example, feed yourself, or to be considered successful, to be considered worthwhile, worthy, and so on and so forth, right? It would be those kinds of things, those elements of not having enough of that and not being what you feel like you need to be at a societal level. It's just scarcity. It's just not there. The job is just not there. The finances are just not there. I was actually watching a video about millennials. No, it wasn't millennials, just the next one, Gen Z, and how many of them have issues where they have friends that earn a lot more than them. And so some of them are in debt because they're actually borrowing money so they can go out with friends. and they're too ashamed to tell their friends that they don't earn as much, or it feels awkward and so on and so forth. So they're not doing it, and they're actually putting themselves in trouble and battling themselves in order to live up to this image with the existence of the scarcity. But in your case, that's not what it is. You really are in alignment with your true being. You're in a space of scarcity on some level, in some way. So this is Pentacles. Of course, it could be money. It could be time, different resources. It could be networking, right? A scarcity of significant relationships. Pentacles is also family, society, community, those circles in the realized earthly realm. And you could be having issues with family members. You could be feeling ostracized in some way, shape, or form. And this can be, of course, be downright poverty, where poverty is actually, I learned this in school. So it always shows up. Poverty is not just having money. It's also having an effect on health, an effect on education. It's a multi-dimensional, multi-layered experience. And so within all of that, and imagine how important that is, right? And how precious that would be to have so much scarcity, so much difficulty. But in all of that, there's like this little window of you doing something that you love, following something that you love, working towards certain goals that are so fulfilling for you, and that just bring you into this space. You're in this space pursuing these goals in this energy of complete and total, utter fulfillment, even if it's not realized yet. Because the thing about the Five of Pentacles, and I'll finish there, we'll get to the next row of cards, but the thing about the Five of Pentacles is also, it's the card between the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, right? I blew your mind, but five is between 4 and 6. But Four of Pentacles is the base, it's the foundation where you have what you need. Six of Pentacles is where there's that good flow of abundance in life. Again, a flow of all of those resources that we need, money, time, resources, it's flowing. And so five is the space between that, between the foundation and the flow. And five is therefore also the space between the wish and its manifestation. We're at the 4, we're wishing for more, moving towards more, and 5, we're in kind of the disequilibrium, and we're in the space of the scarcity is the absence of the wish granted, but the wish will be granted, and that came first. Wow. I love how it's all coming together so beautifully, so beautifully. And that's, that's this kind of space, that there are these convergences and messages, and there's a different logic. There's a different logic that can come through the cards. There's a different logic that Spirit is speaking to and is verbalizing here. It's not the logic of, hey, if you want to be happy, then earn a lot of money and you're going to be happy. Or get status, get recognition, get people looking up to you, get followers, get A, B, C, or D, right? Of what society says may bring you this fulfillment. You're following a route that is so much more profound. And you're right there. You're right there. You just haven't realized it in your life yet. You haven't manifested it. You haven't grounded it yet. That's all it is. So I don't remember which came first, but we're going to start here. What a wonderful place to start. We've got the Emperor. Major Arcana number 4. We've got the Lovers upside down. Yeah, we do. Of course, the Lovers showed up upside down. What you loved and choosing what you love. We have got the Two of Pentacles. And we've got the Moon upside down. And these two cards showed up together in the last reading that I recorded, which may not be the last reading that was up, but it was the reading about the new narrative, creating a new narrative, and how fitting is that. So let me look at this for a moment. With the Emperor here, there's a lot of power, and that's why you're getting this revelation. It's for you to come to be in a seat of power. You are intended to come into a space where you have ownership of yourself, and you have ownership of how you go about life and how you really are going about life. And there's also a message here. The Emperor often shows up when we are making these choices from a deep place, because it's major arcana energy, so it can be subconscious energy. And there's a power within us that is choosing that we're not fully aware of, that is making choices with the Lovers here that are heart-centered choices, that are existential choices, choices about who I want to be, how I want to lead my life, how I want to go about this one life that I have as me. And we're making them but we don't know that we are, especially with the moon here. And so with the Two of Pentacles, there's a shift. There's something that's going to be happening in your world, situations or circumstances, where with the moon upside down, there's going to be a big reveal. So as much as you're getting this revelation of who you are and how you really have been following what you love and being aligned with it from a space of being true to yourself, there's also going to be a revelation in your external world with the Two of Pentacles here. One thing is going to prove itself to be another thing, and something better is going to change and transform to become something better. And with it, you're going to have the revelation that you were really on this path all along. You see here, there's a path in between the two wolves, and you were really being guided by this spirit in the moon. The spirit inside of you, your soul, was guiding you all along. You just didn't know that it was. You just didn't know it, but you're going to have the revelation as things change in your world, right beneath the Ten of Cups. Love it. Love it. Something that is going to prove itself to be something different from in a completely fulfilling way, absolutely fulfilling way. I did say happily ever after. So this is a happy ending that is coming in a situation that's been so difficult and so stressful, and a situation of scarcity for you. And in that whole process, you're just going to recognize how much there's been power inside of you that has been choosing this outcome and directing you towards it all along. You've been choosing it with all your heart, all your soul, all your being, with Spirit's blessing. Mind you, we have this angel right here overlooking the entire scene. With Spirit's blessing, you've been choosing this, you've been moving towards this, and now you're going to get the reveal. And I'm hearing in French, soupe. So it means it is soon, in a little while, in not too long. And I feel like I need to give you an example. And so this is an example that I have. I remember being in a relationship, right? So once I really, really liked this guy, and I thought he was so awesome, and I thought he was so amazing. And I would, be on my own, and I'd be like, oh my God, next time I see him, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to tell him, and I'm going to really, move our relationship in the direction, where it was kind of like this will they, won't they kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to go with this guy. I really, really care about him. I love him. He's the one, right? And then I would meet him. And every time, because I live in a very flowy way, right? But also, this energy would assert itself from within me, and we would have a conversation, and I would think, okay, I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to tell him, and then I would turn and we would end up in a completely different space and place. Now, unbeknownst to me at the time, when I looked at it over little by little, it would be like, for example, and people do this sometimes around me, but I would be like, oh, for example, let's say I would be like, I'm going to marry him. So let's talk about marriage, right? And I would talk to him, and we would talk about marriage. And then the situation would turn, and he's confessing to some kind of addiction, and I'm like, wait, what? But we're going to talk about marriage. But I got a different information here, and that was my soul. My soul was showing up, a deep force, a deep protection, also with this Emperor energy, was showing up within me and moving things in a different direction. And I would, look back at this relationship and go, oh, why was I so demanding? Why didn't I accept this or that? Why didn't I do this? That's what I was thinking at the time. I was young. Why was I this? And then in hindsight, I was like, wow, I dodged a bullet with this guy like you would not believe. I dodged a bullet, and I did it completely unconsciously. And that's the kind of energy that there is here. By the way, I've done that more than once in my life. It's also my guides and my angels that really would intervene and just be like, zip it right now. Don't say another word. You're going to wake up tomorrow engaged to this guy. Zip it. Okay. And so on and so forth. So it's those kinds of dynamics. There's a protection here that's been at play from a deep, deep power inside of you. And as things shift for the better, you're going to be aware of it. I hope that those examples served you. I'm sure you must have something similar. It would be like a job offer, and everyone just thinks it's amazing. Also has happened to me in my life, by the way. Being at an event, somebody sat down with me and my schoolmates where we all had the same schooling, and they offered me what seemed like my dream job at the time, given our education. And he left, and we just all looked at each other, and we were like, did that just happen? Did someone just sit down at an event and go, you are exactly the person I'm looking for this incredibly amazing job, a couple of months before I graduated, and so on and so forth. I never wrote him. I never communicated with him. I never really followed up on it, and I would kick myself, and my friends would ask me, and I wouldn't really know what to say except that, no, it didn't really feel right. And in hindsight, yeah, no way, for there were so many reasons around it, but it was not the right thing for me, especially because I'm here, right? So it was also my soul going like, mm-mm. And it was shiny, it was dangling in front of me, it was everything that my peers and society and my parents and everyone would have validated and celebrated me having, but it wasn't what was right and what was true for me. And something profound inside me kept me from going, and it looked like it was I don't know, laziness, fear of success, all of these things. And I judged myself so much for it. I told myself, interpreted, explained it in very unhealthy and unloving ways, and very unsupportive ways. But in time, the mystery was revealed, and the wisdom, so much wisdom was shown in that choice also. A choice that I can't fully claim because I didn't do it consciously, but I can fully claim it because it was of me and of true me, and it was true to my path and my purpose in this world. So all that being said, let's get you some advice, and we've got mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Appearances, right? And then we've got Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Again, you're seeing this, right? You saw me shuffle. This is amazing. The mirror. Do you see yourself in it? Like what version of you is being reflected in the narrative you're telling yourself, in the voice inside your head? Is it your true self that is going, oh my God, this is not working, I don't want this anymore? Or is it the part of you that is smaller, the part of you that is conditioned, and the part of you that needs something from the situation, from other people, to feel like you have value? And that's not necessarily bad, right? We're ego. We need our ego, and we need to live with other people. We're a connective species. It's normal. It's healthy. But it's a matter of not letting it have control. The ego isn't supposed to drive the car. It's the assisted driving feature of the car, the assistance on the steering wheel. It's not even the steering wheel. It's not the person holding the steering wheel. It's the assisted drive function. It helps us to have road adherence. It's not there to set the destination, the direction. And so it's about putting things at the right level. And one of the things about things that trigger us is very much to ask ourselves, what is the most irritating thing? What hurts the most? What makes me the most angry? What's the most irritating? What is the most thing? And from the answer, we can arrive at the core truth. So for example, what is triggering me the most about not having money right now? And then in the example of the millennials, I can't go out with my friends, and then I don't feel like I fit in. And then, so, what does it do to feel like I don't fit in? It feels like I'm alone. It feels like I'm abandoned. It feels like I have no value, and so on and so forth, right? And to keep going deeper, why am I so triggered that I'm spending so much time on something that I love? Why is that really, really, really triggering me? Well, because it's not something that my family approves of. Okay, so what does that mean that my family doesn't approve it? Well, it means that I am not living up to their expectations. Okay, so what does that mean? Why does that bother me? Well, it's because I really want to show them that I can do this. Okay, why do I want to show them that I can do this? Because I want them to trust me. I want them to believe in me. I want to have a positive influence on their lives. And I will only have that positive influence if they value me and what I'm saying and what I'm doing. There's always a loving truth. You're always going to arrive at your true being. It's just that your true being can say, well, I value this more than the other. And really what Spirit is saying is that you're going to arrive at what you want. You're just going to go about it in a different way, right? What I was doing with the questions is this technique that has to do with finding the underlying value. There's always love at play in everything. So even if it's negative, even if it's triggering you, fundamentally there's a loving impulse that wants to express itself. And if you can get at that loving impulse, then you can fulfill it in a different way, right? If it is, oh, I want my family to trust me so that I can help them and have positive influence in our family, then if I pursue this and I pursue what I love, is there another way that I can have that influence? Would that influence them, that they could see, there's a different way of living life that is less stressful, that is abundant in a different way? Is that a kind of influence that I would want to bring into my family? And so on and so forth. So again, really adapt it in your situation where Spirit is asking you and suggesting that you go into it, that you really do look at what is triggering you, what is bothering you, what is this voice really trying to tell you from within that's saying that this is not good enough, this is not working. What is it really trying to say? Because fundamentally you're going to find that it is trying to lead you towards a loving outcome in whatever way, whatever outcome that is, but at the core of it towards something that is loving. So love. Well, then we have with this Anna, grandmother of Jesus. And how do I put this? There is a lot of focus these days on manifestation that is very much centered on kind of this human level. Think what you think, feel what you feel, go about things in a certain way, and you're going to attract everything that you want. But in truth, what it is that you're manifesting and what it is that you experience, that's your soul. That's your soul manifesting your reality. And what we can manifest is how we, at a human level, engage with what shows up. So as humans, we have limited power. And when we think we have more power than we actually have, that's called hubris. And so there's message here that is saying that you're not going to change your nature. You're not going to change the plan of your soul. You're not going to change the divine plan, who you're intended to be, what you're intended to do, where you're intended to go. That's what we call destiny, right? That's your divine potential seated inside you that will unfold and will lead to a certain experience of life, certain manifestations. And in this day and age, with 2025 around the corner, there's a big push and pull to be in destined spaces, places with people in destined ways doing what we are destined to do. And so you are feeling that pull, and at a more fundamental level, that's how life works in a multi-dimensional way. So as much as you have some form of perspective or desire that things are going to be different, or things should be different, that's not how it's going to play out. And you're only going to be embattling yourself. You're only going to be creating trigger, stress, strain, and you're instead being invited to shift into that perspective, and again to lean into the revelation that is going to come. And as things are revealing themselves and they're working out, the Spirit is saying, look at how it was always set up to go this way. I started drawing when I was 6 years old. Oh my God, now I'm becoming this artist. And then you look around your life, and yes, you were going to go to medical school and you're going to do this and follow that straight line path that society values. And maybe you did do those things, but hey, today I'm an artist and I'm making a living off my art. And I started, and it's always been there in my life. I just didn't know. I just didn't see it. It's that kind of perspective that you're being invited to take on and to really champion in your life. And really to put that voice, the voice of the divine plan, the voice of the unconditionally loving energy that guides you, to place that voice above the voices of anyone else, right? Including me, including anybody, whatever your God, your spirit, your universe, the unconditionally loving energy that guides you, your goddess, whatever that voice is telling you, whatever communication and knowledge is coming in, be true to that and place it above anything and everything else, a higher position, so that the doubts can come in and the challenge can come in. People can be saying, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing that, it should be like this, it should be like that. That's great, that's awesome. I hear you, I understand where you're coming from, but that is not my truth, and that is not where my soul is leading me. That is not how my life is unfolding. That's not how the magic of my life is guiding me along a path that is destined. Okay, with that, we have a takeaway. Root chakra. I have everything I need to survive and grow on the physical plane. It's coming. It is coming. It is coming. But everything that you need to grow and survive in the physical plane is not at the expense of your spirit. It is not at the expense of your heart. It is not at the expense of what fulfills you. It's supposed to be integrated with it. You are, and again, we have that 5, you are intended to thrive in this world, to survive, to grow on the physical plane, to thrive on this physical plane, I would even say. And you're just taking a road where you're incorporating your true spiritual nature in that thriving. Multidimensional thriving, all of you, spirit, soul, human, thriving. That is your destiny. That is what you're working towards, and it will come to pass. Again, we have root chakra energy, we have earth energy. It is so. It is so. Love, that was the reading. Longer than I expected, but so amazing. I'm so happy to have done this reading for you. I will definitely give this another listen. I hope that it served you. I would love to hear what you think about this reading, what you have to share, what you want to share, what you feel like sharing. If you don't want to write it in the comments, you can always write me an email. It's in the description box. I would love to hear from you. And if you would like an individual reading, I do offer intuitive readings where you can ask 3 to 6 questions to Spirit, and I will relay the answers in a 30-minute reading. And then I also have created some energy work that can help you. It is all on my website, www.cocreativehealingjourney.com. If you want to avail yourself of it, if it will help you in your journey of growth and evolution. Sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, and I will be seeing you around. Lots of love. Bye.